Page 22, Siman 51 in the Shulchan Aruch, Nun Aleph, Yud Daled in the writings of the Halachot Be'urah. Be'emtza Pesuke D'Zimra, in the middle of Pesuke D'Zimra. So you're between Baruch She'amar and Yishtabach right now. And you hear Kaddish. Why do you hear Kaddish? Give me a few cases why you hear Kaddish. Because you came late. And they're already saying Kaddish while you're still in Pesuke D'Zimra. What else? You go to Bet HaKnesset that prays too fast. You came on time, but they flew ahead. Let's say you go to the Kotel. You're praying your tefillah, and there's a minyan next to you saying Kaddish. That's a good question. I don't have an answer to that question. Those are complicated halachot. Yeah. I don't know. I'm sitting here praying with Baruch in our minyan, and you're sitting over there praying with Achanan in your minyan, and you say Kaddish. I should ignore you? Shh. How did I do such a thing? But maybe you're right. Maybe I'm not obligated because I'm praying here and you're praying there, and maybe that's why the Kotel was never really a place to pray, guys. Maybe why the Kotel we went to visit, say personal tefillot, but communal tefillot inside of a Bet HaKnesset, inside of an organized synagogue. The Kotel is not a synagogue. It wasn't intended as a place to pray. No, not necessarily. No. Think about it that they always show pictures, old pictures of the Kotel that had no mechitza between men and women praying. And they're right, because it was never a place that people prayed formal prayers. You don't have a mechitza when you go to see some holy site in Israel where people go pray there. They don't have mechitza because, maybe today they already have mechitzot. But the idea is it's not a synagogue. Yeah, it's cut in half. You get half of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. So, באמצע פסוקי דזמרה, רשאי לענות 5 אמינים ראשונים של הקדיש. You can answer the first 5 amenim of Kaddish. Yeah, so the first amen, 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 those amens you could say. דהיינו החי גדל וקדש שמר הבא, you could say. אחר ויצמח פורקנה ויקרא משיחה, you could say. ואחר בעגלה ובזמן קריב ימו אמן, you could say. ואחרי שמי דקודשה בריחו אמן, and then, ואחר דמירן בעלמה וימו אמן. So pretty much from the beginning of Kaddish till דמירן בעלמה וימו אמן, that Kaddish, those you could say those amenim. אבל שאר amenim שבקדיש, but the rest of the amenim of the Kaddish, דהיינו, אמן שאחר תתקבל, או אחר על ישראל, או אחר יהיה שלמה, או עושה שלום. All of those sections of the Kaddish, כיוון שאינם מעיקר דין אמירת הקדיש, because those are not parts of the original Kaddish. Those are additions to the Kaddish. Kaddish is from יתגדל until דמירן בעלמה. Everything else, the extras, are not really part of the Kaddish. אלא מצד המנהג, there are customs. לא יפסיק באמצע פסוקי דזמרה כדי לענות אמינים אלו. You cannot interrupt your פסוקי דזמרה to answer amenim about something that you're not obligated in. ומכל מקום העונה אף אמינים אלו הוקשו באמצע פסוקי דזמרה, יש שם מה שיסמוך. And if you do end up answering amen, there is definitely on who to rely on if you say amen to those parts of the Kaddish. On page 23, ונמצא באמצע פסוקי דזמרה, and if you're in the middle of פסוקי דזמרה, ושמע שאומרים הציבור יהא שמי רבה מברך, and you hear them say יהא שמי רבה מברך, how do Ashkenazim say? Amen, יהא, שמי, what do they say? רבה מברך, לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. That's what Ashkenazim say, right? Chasidim, some of them, they add יתברך. Sfaradim say, many, until Barach, Vishtabach, Vipah, Vitomar, until Damiran Ba'alma. Yes? So, when you say we could say the first 5 amenim, how long can I say? How much of the Kaddish can I say? למנהג הספרדים שרגילים לענות עד דמירן בעלמה, if you're from the Sephardim who have accustomed to say until דמירן בעלמה, רשאי אף כשהוא באמצע פסוקי דזמרה, לענות עד דמירן בעלמה. You're allowed to say that whole long part, even though you are right now in the middle of Pesuke D'Zimra. You know when you... Right. Essentially here you have a question about whether you're answering amen after 28 letters or after 28 words? Amen yesh ma'amad, that's 28 letters. And the other way is 28 words. Yeah, there's minyan koach. There was a certain period in Ashkenaz where rabbis counted words of tefillot. Friday night kiddush has a certain amount of words, and then, that doesn't work with every siddur. And there was a certain point where we abandoned that thought. But those idea of numbers in tefillah is still carried on into other generations. Yeah.
But that will make you connect. Your mind will connect the things that you're reading.
That's right. This is more important.
So because it's more important. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah. This is more important. Right. On page 24, HaShomea Kedusha. Well, let's see. Here. Okay. Page 24. HaShomea Kedusha. Somebody who hears Kedusha. What's Kedusha? The repetition of the Amidah, Kadosh, 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 that part of it. כשנמצא באמצע פסוקי דזמרה, when he's in the middle of פסוקי דזמרה, או באמצע קריאת שמע, or he's in the middle of קריאת שמע, וברכותיה, or its blessings, לא יפסיק לומר כל נוסח הקדושה נקדישך ונעריצך. When they go, Nakdishach v'na'aritzach, don't say that part out loud. Now originally, the original minhag is that only the Chazan says that part. That's what seems the Shulchan Aruch seems to say. The Kabbalist seems to add that everyone should say that part, but it's on condition that you hear the Chazan. No, they don't do that. That's right. That's not a... Right. So let's say you're in a community though, that everyone says Nakdishach v'na'aritzach, like in ours. Ela yishtok, you should be quiet. V'yaneh rak pesukei kadosh ubaruch bidvad. So you should be quiet and listen. I mean, don't pray. Don't continue praying during Nakdishach. Quiet and listen. And then answer out loud, kadosh, kadosh, kadosh. And then baruch. You answer those parts out loud. But Vav pasuk yimloch lo yaneh be'emtza kriyat shema v'choteha. You shouldn't answer the pasuk of yimloch if you're in the middle of Shema. But if you're in Pesuke D'Zimra, you can say the verse of Yimloch. Meaning, Yimloch is not important enough to push off Shema, but it is important enough to push off Pesuke D'Zimra. It doesn't matter if you're in the middle of the section or in between the paragraphs. And if you hear the Kedushat Musaf, how is Musaf Kedushat different? Aside from those words, what else do we do in Musaf that we don't do by the regular Kedusha? We have Shema Yisrael. Very good. So over there, yeah, who Adonai. הוא באמצע פסוקי זמרה באמצע קריאת שמע וחותר לא יפסיק לומר כל נוסח הקדושה כתר יתנו לך אלא יענה רק פסוקי קדוש וברוך בלבד ופסוקי דזמרה יענה אף פסוק ימלוך. You should only say the pesukim of kadosh and baruch and not the pesukim of yimloch. ומכל מקום, nonetheless, כשנמצא בין ישתבח ליוצר, רשאי לומר כל נוסח הקדושה נקדישך ונעריצך. If you are standing in that space between yishtabach and between the blessings of Shema, you can say the entire Kaddish, including Nakdishach v'naritzach. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're in the middle of Az Yashir Moshe Uvnei Yisrael, and you see they're getting ready to repeat the Amidah. So you should do? You could either pause in the middle of Az Yashir, and then what are you allowed to answer? Kadosh, right? And Baruch, right? And Yimloch. But are you allowed to say Nakdishach? No, right? So what should you do if you want to say Nakdishach v'naritzach with the community? Speed up a little bit till you get to the place where you are between, after Yishtabach, but before the blessings of the Shema. Yes? And in that place, you can answer everything. Why? Because you're between two segments of Tefillah. Pesuke D'Zimra is over, so you're not interrupting anything, and the blessings of the Shema did not start yet. So you're in a place where you can answer everything. Yes, exactly. So there are times, like you'll find, for example, if you didn't put on tefillin and the tefillin come to you, let's say you forgot your tefillin, but you start up saying Pesuke D'Zimra, then they send you your tefillin from home, let's say with your son. So you should wait until that break in between to put on the tefillin. Because though you shouldn't be talking there, but there are certain things you can interrupt there because you're not really interrupting anything in terms of Pesuke D'Zimra. You're not interrupting anything in terms of the blessings of the Shema, because you're right now standing between two different sections of the tefillah. Tomorrow, B'ezrat Hashem, we're going to talk about Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo. You probably noticed in our Kehillat that we say Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo more than other communities do. You may have been to some communities, like a Yemenite community, where they don't say Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo at all. Yeah. And we're going to discuss tomorrow the evolution of that minhag. Where does Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo come from? How did it get to us? When should you say it or not say it? B'ezrat Hashem will do all of that tomorrow evening. For right now, take a 2-minute break, and then Itai will lead us in Arvita.